On March 21, 2022, at around 1:11 p.m., China Eastern Airlines flight MU-735 takes off from Kunming. This is a routine passenger flight scheduled to travel for approximately 2 hours and reach Guangzhou, a city in southeastern China. However, about an hour after takeoff, around 2:20 p.m., the plane suddenly begins losing altitude at an alarming speed, rapidly descending toward the ground. Typically, when an airplane encounters a technical problem or engine failure, it is designed to glide while descending slowly, dropping a few thousand feet per minute. However, this particular plane fell from an altitude of almost 30,000 feet to the ground in just 1 minute and 35 seconds. This kind of rapid descent is something you'd experience only if you were skydiving. But here, a large passenger jet plummeted almost vertically to the ground, and in less than 2 minutes, it crashed into a mountain. When the plane began descending, a distant camera captured the scene, and the video footage clearly shows that the plane was nosediving straight down. How is this possible? Every passenger on board died, making this one of the worst aviation disasters in China's history.
The administration of China has confirmed that a China Eastern Airlines plane has crashed in the south of the country.
It appears it was descending at about 10,000 feet per minute. So this is well beyond what you would see in the event of an emergency descent. So something went rapidly wrong. We don't know what.
One of the black boxes was found in the wreckage of the Boeing jet.
There is no word yet on whether anyone has survived the crash.
The Civil Aviation Administration of China confirmed that the China Eastern Airlines flight had crashed in the southern part of the country. According to reports, the plane was descending at a rate of about 100,000 feet per minute, far more rapid than what you'd typically see in an emergency descent. Something clearly went very wrong. One of the black boxes was found in the wreckage of the Boeing jet, but there is no confirmation yet on whether anyone survived the crash. This plane crash shocked aviation experts and crash investigators worldwide. What could have caused such a devastating crash? Flight Radar 24 data shows a strange pattern. The chart below illustrates the altitude at different times. Initially, the plane took off normally, maintaining an altitude of around 29,000 feet for about an hour and 10 minutes. Then suddenly, at 2:20 p.m., the plane started descending rapidly. However, there's something odd in the chart. At an altitude of about 8,000 feet, the plane briefly climbed upward before crashing down again. This brief moment of ascent raises questions. What caused it? Every possible explanation is being explored. It could have been engine failure or a technical malfunction in the plane. Some speculate that the pilot might have committed suicide. Others suggest a possible terrorist attack, or that the pilot suddenly lost consciousness. Weather-related issues are also being considered. At the moment, search and rescue teams are trying to locate the black boxes and crash recorders, while also searching for any survivors, though it seems highly unlikely. The weather report from China's Meteorological Administration shows that at the time of the crash around 2 p.m., the temperature was about 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and moderate winds were present. Though rain was forecasted for the evening, there was no rain at the time of the crash, and visibility was more than 10 miles. So, the weather conditions were not unusual. Everything seemed normal. However, since the crash, heavy rain has set in, complicating the search efforts for the black boxes. On March 23rd, search teams had to temporarily halt their operations due to the rain. The crash site is located in a mountainous and densely forested area, making it difficult to reach. Although flight data recorders and voice data recorders are typically crash-proof, whether they survived this particular crash remains a critical question. The latest update is that one of the 2 black boxes has been recovered by search teams. Although the outer casing was severely damaged, initial reports suggest that the internal data is intact. This black box has been sent to Beijing for further investigation, and hopefully, we'll get more information from it soon. Aviation expert Neil Hansford commented that the chances of this incident being an accident are very slim. He believes it is highly unlikely that this was simply an accident. He referenced the crash of Air France Flight 447 in 2009. That crash involved technical issues and the pilots became confused, leading to a slow descent and eventual crash. But in the China Eastern Airlines crash, the plane fell like a stone from the sky. If it was an accident, it must have been a catastrophic one, like both wings breaking off, or the plane being hit by a missile, or the aircraft colliding with something in the sky. Otherwise, the pilot or someone on board must have intentionally done something. American federal aviation investigator Michael Daniel also believes this crash was most likely due to foul play. He cited two past examples of crashes: Egypt Air Flight 990 in 1999, which crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and Silk Air Flight 185 in 1997, which crashed near Sumatra, Indonesia. Both of these planes plunged to the ground rapidly, and in both cases, the pilots intentionally caused the crashes. Some people are questioning the model of the plane itself. Two recent crashes occurred in 2018 in Indonesia and 2019 in Ethiopia. Both crashes were linked to the technical design flaws in the Boeing 737 MAX, a new model introduced by Boeing to make engines more fuel efficient and reduce cabin noise by shifting the engines slightly forward on the wings. However, this design change created aerodynamic problems, especially in unusual flight conditions. To fix this, Boeing installed a special software system called MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. But in both crashes, a faulty sensor activated the MCAS system incorrectly, forcing the plane's nose down. One Boeing pilot criticized the company for not properly training pilots on the new system. Boeing claimed that pilots certified to fly the 737-800 only needed a brief computer course to transition to the 737 MAX, but this training proved insufficient. It later emerged that Boeing had not fully disclosed the new system to the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. Because of these issues, in January 2021, the U.S. Department of Justice fined Boeing $2.5 billion for defrauding the government. However, this issue has no direct relevance to our story, as the China Eastern Airlines plane that crashed was actually a 737-800 model, not the 737 MAX. The 737-800 is a reliable, long-standing model and is considered one of the safest passenger jets. So considering all the explanations, the most likely scenario is that the pilot intentionally crashed the plane. But the biggest question remains: why would the pilot do such a thing? Several conspiracy theories have emerged on Chinese social media. One popular theory blames the United States, suggesting that the US caused the crash because China didn't take a clear stand against Russia amidst the Russia-Ukraine conflict.